you doing? We are in the month of December. Merry Christmas in advance, and of course, I wish you a wonderful year ahead. 2020 so far, it's been crazy. A lot has happened, but best believe 2021 will be way much more better. My name is Favor, and welcome back to my channel. It's been a while. The last time I was here, it was all about BB Niger updates, but here, this is the launch of Real Talk with Fav. Here, there are no limitations to the things that we can discuss. A matter of fact, we get to discuss real life situations, okay? But today, I want to discuss something extremely important. But before I do, I want to let you know that you have to subscribe to my channel, as well as liking and share. Do want to also drop a comment, at least that way I get to know how you feel about the video. Today, the beam light will be on domestic violence because it seems to be on the rise. We can never overemphasize the need for people to act responsibly, especially when they are married. I've seen a whole lot of things in the past couple of weeks, and I'm like, I need to talk about this. And it wouldn't be a bad idea if I launched the channel, The Real Talk with Fav, with it, right? So, can we just get straight into it? Once again, you're welcome. Alright, glad to know you're still there and glad to have you back. Please do remember to subscribe to the channel, Real Talk with Favor. Okay, now back to the topic for today. Today the beam light will be on domestic violence and why it is people find it extremely difficult to leave abusive relationships. For those of us who are very much active on social media, you must have come across the story of this particular young lady, Dr. Ifeyinwa Ambo, who took to social media to talk about how horrible it has been in her marriage and how the husband has constantly harassed and abused her physically in the 6 years that they were married. Of course, the marriage so far is blessed with 4 kids. And in the video, she had bruises all over her face. She was inflicted with injury, like it was pretty much obvious. Now, the husband is a reporter that works with a TV station here in Nigeria, and a very popular one at that. And she took to social media to talk about how horrible it has been, how the husband abuses her on a regular, how he even sat on her stomach when she was pregnant, how he sat on her incision because she gave birth to one of the kids via CS and all of those. After she took to social media, of course, people had to react to that. People were like, what are you doing there? Like 6 years and you've had to deal with this for 6 years. Why not leave? Why not take a moment, at least get away with your life? You are a medical doctor. And from what I was able to gather, she works with a hospital in Imo State, where to be very precise. Why not at least go? You have a lucrative profession. You can just take a break, just take a moment. Nobody is saying divorce, but just take a moment and try to get yourself together and just recollect your thoughts and know if you still want to continue with the marriage. You have 4 kids, and for all you know and for all you can remember, your husband abuses you in front of your kids. There was outrage, obviously, online, and we thought that was it. Of course, the TV station had to even release a statement saying that they were investigating the issue. So we were probably waiting for the outcome of the investigation when exactly the next day, the same woman came back on social media, or rather she granted a press conference with the governor of Benue State standing right beside her, alongside the husband too. She released a statement saying that she had resolved with the husband, but the governor came to their rescue, that they've spoken to them and they've chosen to resolve the issue and whatnot. And you just released the video like yesterday. Even as when you were making your press release, you still had bruises all over your face. Having said that, that again generated a whole lot of outrage on social media. Like, why would the first step be to reconcile this victim with his abuser? Why would that be the first thing to do? Why not try to get her help first? Why not try to keep her in a secure place first? Try to figure out what exactly the problem is before trying to see if the marriage can be mended. Now, that aside, domestic violence so far has eaten deep into the fabrics of the society. A lot of marriages are breaking up, a lot of relationships, even before people eventually get married. This is what they would have to deal with in ordinary relationships. And you now start to wonder, what exactly happens in marriage? Well, in today's episode, I really want to talk about why is it that people eventually become abusive, because you might be wondering, what joy does it give a human being to inflict pain and injury on a fellow human being, and not just a fellow human being, somebody that you swore before God and man to love and protect and cherish for that matter? What happened? How do you get to that point where you feel so comfortable inflicting pain and injury on them? What happened? And best believe, something definitely is the problem, and I will be talking about it. But before I get to that, why is it that people find it extremely difficult to leave abusive relationships? Why? Well, I've come to the conclusion that society plays a major role. In as much as people were on social media screaming on top of their voices, it's better you leave the marriage, it's better you get out, and all whatnot. Let's assume the woman did not take to social media to talk about it, and she probably decided to divorce her husband. It is the same society that will tell her or mock her or make her feel like, oh, you are a failure, you failed, you did not keep your marriage. As a woman, you should have kept your marriage. It is solely your responsibility to ensure that your marriage works. It is the same society that will stigmatize you, right? So a lot of people don't want to deal with all of those things. Like, they don't want to deal with the backlash that will come from the society, so they'd rather stay in an abusive relationship. So the society so far, they've not been helping. There's this stigma around divorcees. There's this stigma that comes with stigmatization that comes with getting out of your marriage, especially in an abusive one. Even your parents tend to advise you on staying in an abusive, trying to let you understand that, okay, I think I went through the same thing when I was married. You have to endure, you have to keep praying. They even recommend movies for you to see in order for you to just find a way, navigate, and just find a way around it. But just don't quit. It is not in our culture to quit. That is one thing that they teach you. Why? In Western countries or in developed countries, I think when somebody is in an abusive relationship, or when the relationship is becoming a little bit chaotic, marriages, I think therapists could recommend a separation for the meantime. But I think I will get to that part. But what I'm trying to say in essence is society plays a major role. And who are the society? The society is basically you and me. When you see somebody whose marriage did not work, I think we need to be a little bit kinder. I think we need to be a little bit accepting. I think we need to be a little bit understanding and coming to the realization of the fact that nobody got married with the intention of getting out of the marriage. Like, everybody got married with the intention of the marriage working. Like, I want my marriage to work. But one thing leads to the other. If it gets to that point where I feel like my life could go down, like I don't think it's something I would love to deal with. Let me take a moment right now, okay? So the society plays a major role. Now, research also shows that another major reason why women especially find it difficult to leave abusive relationship is because of their children. Okay? The kids are a major factor, more like a major determinant as to whether a woman will leave an abusive marriage or not. And sometimes the abuser tends to abuse you because he knows there's no turning back for you. Like, you're too committed in this marriage or in this relationship to leave. You have like 2 or 3 kids. Like, you're wondering, how am I going to start? What am I going to do with these kids? All right, better I stay here. At least but One thing you don't realize is raising these kids in an abusive environment is more like you playing a major role in seeing that the cycle of abuse continues. Because the worst thing that you can do to your kids is to expose them to an abusive or a toxic environment. Imagine the story I had told initially when I started. That particular lady had hinted in the video that she made, but the husband usually beats her up in front of the children. Now imagine a boy or a girl who grew up in such an environment, thinking that it is the right way for you to do things. This is how I am supposed to relate with my wife. For the guys, this is how I'm supposed to pass across my message. And for the ladies, they feel like, oh, being in an abusive relationship, that's the normal. So you don't necessarily need to raise your kids in a toxic environment. If I say divorce, it might sound a little bit harsh, but if you are in an abusive relationship, it is extremely important that you take a break. Okay? Take a moment before you lose your life. Like once you get to that point where there is every possibility and that you stand a chance to lose your life, it is advisable that you leave. You get the point now. So don't stay with your kids because you want them not to come from a broken home. Okay? But you have to actually leave so that your kids will not be exposed to such toxicity and thinking that that is the appropriate way things are supposed to be done. So the society and your children could be a major reason why you will choose to stay in an abusive marriage, which in any case is not advisable.